It's straightforward to create interactive violin plots in R. We're going to look at two different approaches for doing this. In both approaches, we're going to use the penguins data from the palmerpenguins package, and we're going to create violin plots of bill length millimeter for each species. In the first approach, we create interactive violin plots through ggplot2 and the plotly package. First, we take the penguins data frame and use it to create a ggplot. We then add the violin geometry to the ggplot and associate species with the X aesthetic so that we can get separate violin plots for each species, and then associate bill length millimeter with the Y aesthetic, which indicates the variable the box plots will be constructed for. We then assign the violin plots the name ggvio and use the ggplotly function to make the violin plots interactive. That produces the graphic below. When we hover over any one of the violin plots, then we can see the species associated with each violin plot, and then at this particular cursor position, the bill length is 45.16 millimeters, and the density associated with that bill length is 0.0108, and so on. And we can see how the density changes as we move along the violin plot. The same information is available for the violin plots produced by the other two species. There's a second approach we can use to construct violin plots using the plotly package. Instead of constructing the interactive violin plots through the ggplot2 package, we construct them directly using the plotly function. We associate species with our X attribute, bill length millimeters, with the Y attribute, and specify type equals violin. So in the code here, I take the penguins data frame and pass it to the plotly function, use the tilde notation to associate species with the X attribute of the plot, the tilde notation to associate bill length millimeter with the Y attribute of the plot, and specify type equals violin. When I run that code, then the graphic below is produced. I get similar information to the previous plot, but now when I hover over a violin plot, it gives me the species associated with the plot. It gives me information related to the 5-number summary, so I can see the minimum and maximum bill length associated with this graphic. So the minimum bill length was 32.1 millimeters, and the maximum was 46 millimeters. I can also see the first and third quartile, as well as the median. I can also see how the density changes with the bill length as I move along the violin plot. So for example, right here, the bill length is 35.49 millimeters, and the associated estimate of density is 0.633. When I hover over the other two violin plots, you can see that I get similar information. In either case, it's very easy to produce interactive violin plots in R using the ggplot2 package and using the plotly package.